snow on the eastern side. Well, this is what snow looks like in our own deserts in New Mexico on shiprock, with the sun actually risen. And you'll notice that snow is a Lambert scatter. It's like this movie screen, all right? It scatters light in all directions. This is not a Lambert scatterer, and it in no way compares. I mean, you can see detail in the shadow, kind of, detail in the shadow, but look how dull this looks in bright sunlight compared to this pre-dawn. Again, I emphasize this is a pre-dawn image, 90.3 degrees. Now, here's what that translates to. This is a Viking image taken just after sunset back in '76 by the Viking lander. All right, you can see shadowy features here. This is the wind cover of the Viking lander. This is some of the surface instruments, the landing pads. This is the horizon. There's a crater on the horizon. This is a bright bluish glow caused by forward scattering in the Martian atmosphere. But notice how dark the landscape is, and this wind cover is gray. You know, it's about 50–60% reflective. Notice how dark it is. And it's a Lambert scatter. It's gray paint. It's basically, it's like a movie screen. But it's dark because the Martian pre-dawn or post-sunset is dark. But when we look at the face in that kind of lighting, with the sunlight coming from the northeast, this is the angle, the sun is rising way over here. This is how bright it is compared to what you can see on the left. And the geometry of this indicates that it's coming from that large halo of light above the sun in the atmosphere. It's a diffuse halo, so you don't have sharp shadows. There's no shadow extending out. So that's why this slope, this base of the face is in darkness, because it's tilted away from that light part of the sky, so it's not getting any light at all. It's seeing the sky over here, which is dark, all right? But look at how incredibly bright, and more important, how incredibly geometric the eastern side is. Now, here's a comparison between the Malin image, close-up, 1.5 meter res, and the Odyssey image pre-dawn. Now we begin to see that there are hints of color. Is it possible that this is some kind of glass-like material? Is it prismatically diffracting and refracting this pre-dawn glow as well as reflecting it? And if so, what are the physics of that? Well, Mark Carlotto, many years ago, based on his shape from shading analysis, produced a three-dimensional model that he then proceeded to light in the computer from dawn to dusk. And it turned out this is the lighting that most approximates the current Odyssey lighting that we have, except with Mark's version, the sun was up. It's actually, you know, you can see sunlight coming in. Now, what's interesting is to compare the differences and the similarities in Mark's view. This is his view. This is another Viking shot. This shows you, by the way, how dark the surface is even when the sun is literally just risen, given the dust and the distance and all that on Mars. Sunrise is a dim phenomenon, as is sunset, but not when you're looking down on the face from orbit. And it's overwhelmed by all this other stuff going on, which is so geometric that all you can say is it's not a Lambert scatter. It's not a diffuse surface. It's acting much more like a mirror. Now, here are some diffuse surfaces made of natural rock that one of our friends in Sedona, Matt Nelson, took a few weeks ago. This is just before sunset. This is outcroppings, you know, sandstone outcroppings in Sedona. Notice the sunlit side. Notice the away-facing side. Notice that the brightness is absolutely has nothing to do with what we're seeing in the Odyssey image. Here's another version just before sunset. These buttes are lit by the sun coming like this. Here's the shadow. There's no overwhelming brightness compared to the darkness that we see in the Odyssey data. This is the moon. I think it's a first quarter moon, judging by the angles and when this would have been taken and all that. So how do we explain this astonishing asymmetry in the brightness? Well, I have said from the beginning that this thing was a made object based on the fractal data that Mark gave us back in 1992.